Red Stag Straight.
Yeah,
It's really good.
it's not.
Oh no, red Stag. But whatever you mix it with, it usually separates. So the whole time you mix them, for some reason that drink you pretty much got
Really?
it. Yeah.
Like I was doing Dr. Pepper a couple weekends ago. We did Dr. Pepper and Red Stag, so black cherry, and I was mixing it with a regular mixer, like I was putting doubles in. But
Yeah.
man, I tell you what, that was good. I was extremely happy with that.
So, SmashCastBros, keep it local, keep it cash, tell the feds to kiss your ass. I'm Ty.
I'm Trigger.
I'm Moody.
Kirk?
Buzz.
All right, so we are doing a Ionia Free Fair special tonight. We're going to try to... I got all sorts of questions and facts and crazy stuff. I'm going to have you guys, we're going to pick on these two and maybe three when he gets here. But let's start. What do you guys want to hit on first? Do you want to... Let's go over history? Let's go over history.
Yeah, I think we ought to do that first.
All right. What year was the fair established?
1928? Was it 28? I don't remember.
1915.
Oh, 50.
Do you know where the first fair was? I do. I had the book and I couldn't find it
He
tonight.
done his homework, I think.
I did it.
We didn't.
I did my homework.
I'm just flying by the seat of my pants.
Well, Ty had 5 days of the week to fill.
No, you're good right there. But
Oh,
just
did he?
keep the direction. What the hell was that?
What was that?
Oh. So
Anyway, where
know-
was the original fairgrounds?
the very first fair, you know where Simpson's floral shop was on Main Street, down by my old house?
Really?
That property. They used that property for 1 year, and then they moved it to its current location.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Guess I should have brought my book.
Like I said, me and Amy have been tearing this place apart looking for my book. I think I let somebody borrow it, and I never got it back. So
When you said history, I thought for sure he was going to nail it.
he was there the first day.
Probably 30 years old, wasn't he, back then?
All right.
Yeah.
Back to the fair.
Who was the founders?
Fred Chapman and Governor Green.
Fred Green, the Freds. Fred Chapman, Fred Green, right. Oh, what else have I got? How many different times and ways has the fair been closed?
2.
Twice.
Twice, right.
Not
Oh, were they?
middle of summer one time.
World War II.
Oh, COVID.
World War II and COVID. Yeah, you're right. I better turn this off. I had it on for other reasons earlier today. Unless that was one of you two. Anyway.
It's him.
What other history, fun stuff we got? Do you remember the year that it closed early for flooding?
It was on a Thursday.
That was what, 4 or 5 years ago? 5, 6 years ago?
No. It was
Longer than that.
On a Thursday. That was either the
Dude, turn that shit off, please.
I had that.
Turn it off. Just
That time I got talked
2000.
I don't care.
Was it 2010? 2005.
2011. 2011, it flooded. COVID closed it 1 year,
1 year.
but then there was a bunch of restrictions and the fair was kind of weak until the restrictions got lifted. And then in 2023, there's 2 different numbers I'm finding in books, newspaper, whatever writings I can find. There's 2 different numbers I keep finding. How many people came in 2023?
COVID, let's see, COVID was 2020.
2020.
How many total for the week?
We had 2 years of
2021.
semi-lockdowns.
We come back. There was restrictions.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, there was some restrictions, but it mainly was in grandstand because it was in a confined.
Enclosed, yeah, kind of a
They call it
not
confined
enclosed.
area. We had
Right.
to separate the
Social distancing?
Yeah, kind of like that. But that was 2021, 2022, and 2023 actually are our best 3 years since I've been on the board.
The best year I think we ever had was the year after COVID. That'd be
The year after COVID.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a
best one we
stellar
ever
year.
had. We made a ton of money.
400,000 people. Like I said, I got 2 different numbers. 400,000 in 2023 and 325,000. Those are 2 numbers I keep seeing.
Yeah, them are the numbers they throw out.
We don't have a gate, so it's hard
hard
to
to
tell
say.
exactly how many there is. But
So what's the
You can guess.
the fair strives on volunteers quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we keep them coming?
Take care of them.
Which we need to do a better job of.
Yeah, there's.
Like I said, I got a long night of this stuff,
there's-
so
there's
we're
a lot
gonna be
of-
speedballing this. But we're gonna go through the days, the
Oh, yeah.
governor's day, the cop day, which I'm gonna pick on Trigger for because
That's the only day I attend anymore because of the prices.
he's right,
Right.
and we're gonna have to get into the prices of something.
Yeah.
But the free fair became not free fair for how many years?
Oh,
Do you remember that? Remember they put the gates in, and
what year was that? That was.
I think
What do you mean
Lionel
when they-
came back
That was in
as
Doug Clark. They tried it 1 year.
1 or
Yeah,
2
2
years.
2 years.
Did it? Was it 2 years?
I think it was 2 years.
I thought it was just 1 year, and I thought it was like
No.
between 2000 2005-ish right there somewhere.
I rem-
I didn't
Somewhere in there.
find that because I didn't look. For it.
I want to say it was after Y2K and before.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
'cause-
it was somewhere in that 5-year span, like 2000 to 2005. And I do believe it was only 1 year, and they kind of
They
dug
really
their own grave
smashed
with
it.
that one.
We can turn that fan off if you can reach it. The backside.
Should be able to reach it. It's right next to
Are you burning up? You can turn it off for a little while if you want.
But yeah, that's vaguely what I remember. But again, that was 20 years ago.
Sometimes I wish they would kind of go to that because that would cut the price down a lot.
Do you
on
know
a lot
why
of
they
things.
went back? Do you remember? There was a lot of rumors, and I don't know what was just
Because
bullshit gossip.
Because it wasn't working.
The rumors
What
were
do you mean it wasn't working?
The gate, you mean? Because people complained about it. Terrible complaining about it. And
What?
people were not
complain
showing up.
about stuff?
and if Mike shows up, maybe he can clarify.
Yeah,
He
he'll
knows,
be able to clarify a lot
because
better.
it was his dad.
Yeah.
Now, the rumors were the family that donated the property of the fairgrounds said in the contract, or the whole thing was, as long as it's a free fair, the property's yours.
Right.
Once you start charging again, property comes back to us. And they said, we want to keep this fair alive somehow or another. We can't just give all that property and all the buildings back to the family.
Right.
I don't know the family name. I probably could have found
I
it.
couldn't. I remember it one time, but I still.
Well, is
don't
there any
have-
truth to that?
I've heard that before, and I don't know. That would
Okay.
be a. That,
We
like
got to
I
get
said,
him
that,
up here if he wants to get.
Yeah, that'd be a Mike question on that.
You said Ryan wants. So this may turn into a 2 fair thing. We'll do one tonight and maybe do all this all over again, or hit on it all again some night with Ryan or whoever else wants to come up. So, like I said, I got 4.5 pages of stuff. Some of the other stuff, the 100-year centennial was in 2015, and we're still riding that wave somehow 8 years later. 9 years later now,
Yeah.
because we still have the 100-year celebration stuff up. So let's break down the days. Do you have the? Is that one of them? Does that got all the days in it?
That's
So the governor's day, the kids'
Oh.
day, the cops' day. Let's break those down.
I just had it here, I think.
old. You got this year's already?
Are you?
Yeah. Well,
I knew they
Yeah, I
wouldn't be
wasn't
prepared.
Because I don't even have them yet. We don't
Well,
have no
You
card
got the
yet.
concert list of what's coming this
You
year?
should have the concert.
I
list.
got. I did. Well, I took a picture of that. That's.
Oh,
the,
okay.
Fairgrounds comes down as owner of the city of Ionia.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got. Do you know how many acres that is? I got it. I got it right here.
I didn't know.
Let me guess it real quick. 64 acres.
Oh,
What part?
heck no.
Just the main part. So the very front with the track, and then the Quonset buildings and
That'd be the city's part. Or no? Are you talking about the Fair Association?
it goes way back as well.
Oh yeah. Lot.
But just the main part. Go ahead and guess it.
I'm gonna guess 20 acres. No, more than that.
So just up behind the Quonset huts and the
Oh,
arena and stuff like that.
probably 20 acres.
59.94.
Yours is more detailed than mine.
That's the front half to the back of the track, right? Are you on?
So,
Onyx?
That's the back. Yeah, I'm on Onyx. That's to the back of the Quonset huts.
There's another 53.02 acres that collect up the rest of the main part, like the rear parking and stuff.
Yep, that's the
Well,
fair.
that only takes up a little bit of the rear parking.
So that's the fair associations.
The rest of the rear
we own
is
L.
127.02 acres,
Grand
which is
total.
a swamp.
Grand total is 449.04 acres.
When it was all together.
All the way to the back to the.
Trussell.
Yep.
So
Now, is that counting across the bridge parking that used to be that they
So that's-
no longer use?
No.
we own
no.
20.
I didn't add that in there because I don't think.
Dude, it
That's
is
200
all split
acres
up.
flat.
Yeah, so there's 20 acres across the river.
Oh,
Where the woods
200.
The fair owns that.
The fair
That's
owns that.
200
City
acres.
owns the field
Okay.
in the center. Then they lease the other half to a farmer. And
Get closer to the mics or bring them to you.
So they live. So the fence row behind the administration building, the next one out.
Okay.
Fence row from there to the Trussell's counties. It used to belong to the state of Michigan.
Okay.
So
They
that
just
the count
they relinquished it to
the county.
Okay.
And then we own like a L section, I guess you could call it, association. And then the city owns like the front half of it.
So you need to. You got Onyx on your phone?
Yeah.
Where the old pedestrian bridge is, going to the old parking that flooded out during Birthday Bash, that says it's 200.71 acres.
That's ours. There.
Then you have the
I'm bouncing
little
around here. I'm not going
corner
in.
up in the front
And
that's
then
all
this
woods.
part
It
right
says
here
Ionia Free
is our
Fair.
piece. It goes from 66 over and down. The rest is the cities.
Then there's this piece.
Yep.
Then there's this big piece.
Yep.
And then there's that big piece.
Yep. So this.
It's all Ionia County, Ionia City.
City of
So
a
this-
bunch of it's City of
so right
Ionia.
here,
Yep.
this
There's
fence
only
row
one
is
small part
basically-
that says Ionia Free
I look
Fair,
at it
and
as-
that's the
Here
woods
is
part.
county.
I look at it as by and
I
by
don't know
one
what's
big
going on here. On this
Ionia
side.
Free Fair thing because
Yeah,
it's all
City
getting
of
used.
Ionia on that one.
But all that property out back
Just
is
that
probably
little
good to know that
fence
it's
road
Ionia
right
County or Ionia City property
Ionia
because
Free Fair Association. So
I take off
we
a
own
buzzy
like
side
an
by
L,
side right back there.
and that 20 acres on the other side of the river. The rest of it's
You know,
cities.
Thank goodness for open parcel maps.
Yeah. So there's another 20 on top of the 449. Anyway, so let's bounce back to the volunteers and the families and stuff like that. Tonight I found out that Marty at the front gate.
Yes.
Do you know how he ended up in that spot?
I couldn't tell you.
His dad did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the generations are going down. Like I've never really done any work for the fair. I probably should have by now.
You can still start.
I will. I mean, at some point, I'm sure I will.
Oh, yeah.
But my problem is the same as most anybody's, except Buzz. I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. I have a full-time and a half job.
You don't even work on
He
Friday.
only works a third of the time
let me send a message to these two.
You don't even work on Friday. Don't tell me you got.
No, I don't
Hold
want
on.
to.
You're talking about working at the fairgrounds for the free fair.
Well, we did.
You don't even work at your job.
I put in some labor down there for things like the Badass Truck Expo.
Yeah.
I worked my ass off on that thing. So did Jeremy. I took the whole week off prior to it just to mow weeds, and I
did
burn
quite
up
a
a hell
few
of a
years.
lot.
What did he do?
He drove around his truck. What do you think he does? The same thing he does.
You couldn't have done a very good job mowing because they're still there.
More history. What else we got? To me, the 1986 Eddie Money, 87. I think it was 87. That was the year he played. I got
I wish
I
could,
have it. I have it. I got to look.
I can't find the Queens on there, and I know it's in there.
I've only ever been to one concert down there, and that was Brooks and Dunn in '96, I think.
That's cool. 1978 was my first concert there. It was Johnny Cash.
Do you know the very first one? Very first concert?
That was back
First notable concert.
that'd be in his time.
Yeah, probably. I believe it would be. Actually.
The 20s?
And he's still dancing to that.
How's them Tigers doing?
Let's go here.
They haven't started yet.
Eddie Money played in 87, so that video
87?
was made in 87.
Seven,
So that Free Fair Queen was the 87.
Now, if
86
somebody
was-
wanted to pull that up, take a look at it. What do they got to do? What?
This one I just grabbed off Wikipedia, and then you go into the attractions.
Okay.
So this is the notables. I'll go over some great ones. So 1968 was the first notable concert. Hank Williams Jr. and the Detroit Wheels.
Oh wow, you probably remember that.
I remember Hank.
Well, then 73 Loretta Lynn, Sean Cassidy, which I heard was a huge thing back then, and
Never heard of him.
Word.
You never
I'm
heard
with
of
him? I'm with them because I'm sure he hasn't either. Have you?
Sean Cassidy? You remember Sean Cassidy?
Little bit.
I,
Little bit.
Oh, I know you do. You probably knew his favorite folks.
Yeah, they played euchre.
Oh, that's
What
funny.
year? What year was Johnny Cash? I'm sure it was '78. That was my very first concert.
Johnny Cash down there.
Yeah.
Apparently he wasn't
Yeah.
notable because he's not on here on this list.
What
Let
year
me
was
find it.
was?
So I'm going to go down. Rick Springfield was 82. Cool and the Gang 81. 83 was Little River Band. Cheap Trick. Blue Oyster Cult. Mitch Ryder. I have no clue who that is.
I don't know that.
84 the Romantics. 1985 the Beach Boys. That's a good one. Loretta
That's a
Lynn
good
again.
one.
Conway Twitty. Night Ranger was a good one.
Yep.
That was a good year. So 85 was where we started to get the grandstand full, and I think he started building the stage. That big canopy. You remember the year that huge canopy came in?
I remember when they had the tent with the girlies. The what do you call that? Like, remember, they had a tent there where they had this
I don't know. I'm gonna plead
girls.
fifth.
The Band-Aids?
The girl show. I don't know. Remember what they called it now.
Burlesque show.
I think the biggest show that we've ever done, and we did it 8 years in a row, was Alabama. That's the most exciting one that I was
I met
involved in.
those guys one
know.
year
I
down
think
there.
I met him a bunch when I was little, but back then I was like, okay, whatever, the country.
Right.
I'm a rock kid. I'm badass. The Romantics. Again, Beach Boys. Stevie Ray Vaughan in 86. I would have loved to have seen that. I probably did. I'm sure I was there. Because I lived in the camper out backstage all 10 days.
Yeah.
I rode my bike.
August 10th, 1978 was Johnny Cash.
I knew it was. I thought it was.
78. See, it's not on here. It goes from 73 to 79.
Yes.
But apparently not notable. Which you would think Johnny Cash would be notable.
Yeah, because he was big then.
So, like I said, this isn't a all-inclusive list. Ted Nugent was 86. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, which Johnny Cash is more notable than that. 87, The Monkees. Weird Al Yankovic. He had a
I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. They don't call him weird for nothing.
I got the Monkeys. Davy Jones from the Monkeys got hurt and was skiing in Gun Lake, and he come and played. He did the whole gig on our stage down there, and then I ended up taking him to the hospital because he had cracked ribs. I had to drive him up to the hospital. That was, I'll never forget that.
Who'd you say attended in 81 for concert?
Cool in the Gang.
Willie Nelson.
Really? Why isn't he on here? He's on here later.
Willie Nelson was 81.
I seen him on here somewhere, I thought.
Reba. Reba was
there a bunch.
a real
We,
big
oh
concert.
yeah, we had yeah.
The Black Velvet
George-
lady, what was her name?
George Strait was another big one.
Yeah, George Strait was there.
Yeah.
What is her name?
87, the Monkees were going to get Night Ranger, REO Speedwagon, Richard Marx, and Eddie Money. See, those were the years the grandstand and everything was standing room only. Def Leppard
Leppard
played how many times?
That's one of the one
Def
I was
Leppard
thinking
was
of. Yeah.
88, but they only played twice. So 88 and 2000, I thought they played more than that.
I know in '88 they played because I was at. Well, actually, I was at both of them.
Which,
I think
which,
it was only two.
So it was 88 that they broke the hoses out on, right?
yes,
And
that's
everybody
when all the
lost their
shirts were
shoes.
coming off and they were
Yeah.
I
spraying
was
them.
running one of the hoses.
You probably were.
Europe,
I
the
was.
Beach Boys
I really
again,
was.
David Lee Roth, that would have been cool. Poison, that was probably big.
That was
91 was Winger.
Yep.
91
Oh, yeah.
or 94 was Metallica, Danzig, and Suicidal Tendencies. But that wasn't during the fair.
No, that was
Metallica, they put the stage by the dumpster.
Well, didn't that
by the show.
LAV? It was an LAV show or something like that. Put it on, right?
Could have been.
I don't remember who put it on.
I think so. Because they were giving away tickets and all sorts of
Crazy.
shit. Yeah, a lot of them. Deep Purple in 95.
They were pretty
Again, there's more notable names out there, I guess.
Who was in 95?
good. Deep Purple.
Smoke on the Water,
Okay. What year was Metallica?
94.
94. Okay. That's the one I remember also. But I
That
didn't
was on
attend.
the-
I had a bunch of friends that attended.
Because didn't
But
they have
That was on the
LAV
in,
was
we
one-
did that on the infield.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it was rock one night and the second night was country, wasn't it? Didn't they do like two?
I think it went one big jam.
I thought
I
they did.
remember Metallica's because it rained all night and it
They're
was miserable.
That fairgrounds is that might be the number one thing anyone will remember. If it rains, it's a
It's a soup hole.
dump. It's a mud hole. Def Leppard again in 2000. LFO. The hell's LFO?
I don't remember that one.
TLC. 2001. Vince Neil, Stephen Percy, Slaughter Vixens. That had to be like an 80s night. Rascal Flatts, Beach Boys again. I don't remember this one. Kenny Wayne Shepherd in 2005. I would have loved to have seen that.
Kenny Wayne Shepherd. That was 2005. He was young.
Yeah. I would have loved to have been there. ZZ Top, Tim McGraw. So, and that was about the end of big name, because 2006 was Styx, and then
Everything went downhill.
yeah, because the prices. Tell us about that.
Well, it's not only the prices, it's all the venues that popped up all over the place. You got, I don't know when Van Andel popped up, and you got Meyer Garden now. They're all doing
20
they're
Minute
all doing
Live. They got
concerts.
another amphitheater going in.
Another one going in Grand Rapids, and
But-
and the casinos. The casinos.
Casino was
they're
really
good.
killing it. But
And they can afford to pay the price of admission,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is what? Give us some examples.
so, gosh, what did we pay? We're gonna go see, and we're gonna go see Tesla.
No, I mean to get the band in.
Oh, to get them depends on who it is. So, like Kid
really,
Rock,
yeah.
Kid Rock. I think it was like, well, let's step back a little bit. Jelly Roll. We could have had Jelly Roll last year for like $385,000. That's before getting sound, stage,
Well,
security,
production, all the production.
all
Yeah.
your production. That was to get them there. That's not including nothing else. So, I mean, you get
That's
380.
just a guy.
Have you
It's
seen
just-
his girlfriend or wife?
Yeah, what's her name? What do they
Bunny?
call her? Bunny.
Yeah.
Hey,
Was that an odd couple?
for this,
You know how they met, right?
Yeah.
Either way.
for this free fair, can we look into getting Lainey Wilson, perhaps?
I don't
That'd
know.
be fun.
I mean,
Laney
Well,
Wilson.
you gonna share that with us, or just?
Yeah, I see.
You don't know who Laney Wilson is?
Oh,
Yeah,
What's
I've
one
heard,
of the,
I've heard of
What's
her.
one of the longest reigning families that has to do with that fair? Big name around Ionia.
probably Cusack.
No,
Haskins.
no.
Belize's.
Gregory's.
Or Gregory's. Yeah, Gregory's.
They were at the first 1915 fair.
Yep.
Arthur D. Gregory.
Really?
Yes.
That's good to know.
2016, they were part of the Antique Village part. They were the Heritage family for the 2016 fair.
Since we're on the history, I'm glad you brought that up. That Antique Village, they do a great job. I feel like have you guys
I don't
liked
have
it?
that part. Great. I actually enjoy that part.
Right. I think they do a pretty decent job.
Oh,
with
yeah, they
history
do a real
stuff.
nice job.
Yeah. I feel like, I guess.
They got a lot of old pictures.
You can
I
go,
mean, they got-
Jeremy, but you still got to pay to park.
Entirely too much.
No, we don't have a
10
gate.
bucks
You
a
know,
park, I don't feel so horrible.
you can park across the street and walk over. It won't cost you a dime.
You
No.
might get hit by a car.
But I have to
You're,
park
you're
across.
going to pay across the street.
But again,
Well, I mean, down
As much.
downtown.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still going to pay. Yeah. Or if I pay even at the gate, I have to walk 2.5 miles because they can't use the parking lots up front. They have to park you all the way out back because they don't want to use the parking lots up front.
We do use them.
Why?
Every time that I pull in down there and pay to park, they park me all the way out back behind the horse stalls and stuff.
We have to keep the front open for vendors parking, for handicap parking.
You're talking about the front, though.
The front.
No, I'm
So-
talking
You're talking
about
about-
Just past the
just past the
guard shack.
gates. The guard shack, the gate
Yeah,
shacks
so
or
when you
whatever.
Just pass it on the right side, which is just Gen Pop parking.
and
There
normal-
could be 10 spots you see from when you hand your money over. You can see 10 spots,
no.
and they still truck you
It's
in the back.
normally empty, and they tell me I got to go to the
Really?
back.
Sometimes though it's wetter and shit back in there,
I've seen that.
and that's
In,
last.
in fairness, though, they probably know you.
I've had it days to where they tell me
you
I
go.
park all the way out back.
I'm gonna crack an energy drink.
Well, then I leave to go do something that day, and I come back later in the evening. It's all full over there. There wasn't a single car there when I came in first, but they made me.
That's good to
park
know.
all the way out
We're,
back.
we're not the parking attendants, but it's something we could look into.
I don't want to walk from all the way out back.
No, that's good to know.
Pretty good. And I've noticed it. He's not wrong.
And
Yeah.
and by no means, the joke about paying to park. Yeah, I hate paying to park. There's been years that I've got the week-long parking pass or the 10-day parking pass, whatever it is. Other times, no, I'm not fronting the money. So therefore, I go 1 day a year. But on that 1 day a year, they have me park all the way out back when all this parking is still empty up front.
What if you got one of those camper spots and just put your camper down there?
I've thought about it, but
Well, we're going to talk about that, too.
they're crammed in there like sardines, which I don't blame them because they have to. As many campers they have down there with the 4-H,
Well,
the
with a
other
power,
vendors.
with a power, we can't.
80% of our camping people, 80 to 85% of our camping people are 4-H.
which is great. Now
It is.
I get it.
200 and
we got to circle back to that too
80,
because
90.
I want to talk about the 4-H side, but let's go with other stuff first.
Okay. Well, we're still on. Let's keep on. I mean, the fair is here because of all of its history. Let's try to come up with more history stuff. What else you got?
What year did it flood and destroy underneath the grandstands to where we don't use the grandstands anymore, or don't use underneath the grandstands anymore?
Well, that was
birthday bash weekend. I can't
we
remember the year.
We used to do that.
I had it. Let me see if I can find it here.
And
I think.
Okay, I got
why
it.
haven't they started reusing the or underneath the grandstands?
We are now.
The same
We got,
year.
we got 2 offices open now. I had them remodeled 3 years ago.
Okay, because the
Ticket
last
booths
few
are
years.
Couple questions. The same year as the other flood that shut the fair down, 2011.
2011.
Okay. How many cars got destroyed? Do you remember?
At the birthday bash? God, I can't remember. Is there 100 or 150 or something like that?
How many
was
cars
all-
got
it was
left?
all
Maybe
that.
not destroyed, but
The
how
ones that
many
got
cars
left.
were had to be left?
Wasn't there like 100 or 150 or something total?
The
Or was
number
it-
I found was 1,400.
Oh, they did. I thought they got most of them. I don't know. I don't
See,
I remember it flooded, but
I work with 2 guys that went swimming with with a local wrecker company to hook them up and tow them out of there. A couple of them were driving wreckers, a couple of them were swimming to hook up, and there was a lot of cars.
I can tell you a little bit about that because I was there that day. And then when they announced that there was the water was coming up,
Nobody left.
a lot of people were not leaving right away. I did get on the bridge that goes across the river where those cars were at, and that bridge was just packed full of people trying to get to the cars. They got to the cars when the road going out had a dip in it, and that's where the water was coming up at. So we got semi trucks in there bringing in crushed asphalt. Crushed asphalt, semi after semi. The crushed asphalt was not keeping up with as fast as
flow.
the water was rising. So that's why those cars were still in there after the flood. After they got,
And it sucks. It's sad. It was really sad. Now, people were pissed about lots of things there, but the one thing that stood out in my mind was it was a dam down in Lansing, wasn't it?
I don't know if they opened up
Portland, yeah, it
the.
was
Well, didn't they open up the Lansing Dam, and they opened up Portland, and they had to do Weber Dam, and
yeah, I think
was
so.
like a-
yeah.
Nobody says, "Hey, we'll give them an hour." Nobody
Right.
says, "Hey, we'll give them an hour and a half." To call over there, they're having a huge concert. We know the fair floods. Somebody had to go.
but on the other hand,
the chief of police, then didn't he announce that?
They came
During
out
the
and
show?
announced it. I remember that. They said, "Hey, the water's going to rise fast. You guys are going to want to get out of here." And I remember the rumor mill was almost nobody left. They're like, "Yeah, whatever."
but on the other hand, look, okay, maybe they didn't have a choice. Look at Midland Dam. That just blew apart.
Really?
Well, that was 3-4 years ago now that blew apart. Okay, when it gets to a certain stage, it's like screw everybody downriver before whatever,
Well,
and they
they
open the dam up.
They could have. I mean, it's a long ways from Lansing to here. They could have given us a warning, but I don't know why they didn't. I never did find out why, so I can't tell you.
But back to the generations thing, like I said, Marty, he only did it because his dad did it. The Gregors have been around forever. What other ones?
Oh, I didn't. I was looking. What'd you say?
I know you're busy talking to people.
No, I'm somebody. Took me. What?
yeah. What other families have been around forever working with that fair?
Well, your grandpa did a lot down there.
Yeah.
Dean family, Bill Dean.
Don't know him.
He was when they first started showing hogs. He was one of the hog farmers. There was only 2 hogs at the first time they showed hogs. It was 2 boar hogs between 2 different farmers. That was the first year they ever had hogs at the fair.
Yeah, you get the.
I know Bob Dutton and his family. They had a lot to do with that fair back in the he got draft horses, a ton of them. Mm-hmm. Well, each one of them probably weighs a ton.
Yeah.
So it was the first 2 hogs that went down there were owned. One was owned by Arthur Gregory. The other was owned by Bill Dean. 2 hog farmers in the area. Those are the only.
How many they got now?
They'll fill 280, 290 pens
Holy cow.
of doubles.
They were Poland China hogs. The next year they had 3 herds, and I don't know, they don't give a number. They had 3 herds down there that showed up the next year at the fair.
Yeah, they used to have they call it open show, and they had part of the open show was with a 4-H, and they would have 2 or 3 farmers like that where they would bring a herd or however
Bring their whole herd to auction them off.
Oh, good. Well, no, they would just show them in an open show, because back then they got paid. You made money
The first
for showing pigs.
the first hog with those 2, that
I was
was
wondering-
1925, was the first 2 hogs at the Ionia Fair.
Really? Huh.
So in 1926 is when they showed up with 3 herds. Or somebody, it doesn't actually say, but they had 3 herds show up.
Yeah, and they were.
1926.
But back then they just showed them for the money, but now it's all about selling them.
Yeah, now it is because the state does not provide
Okay.
a premium anymore.
So I've never understood most of that.
Yeah.
So educate me. How's all that work?
Well, now,
Yeah.
well, it's you got regular 4-H. It's a 4-H fair, and they show they get their ribbons and so on and so forth. You got your champions, reserve champions on down. Then you have showmanship class, which they have they take, or not showmanship. Well, yeah, showmanship. You get a grand champion, in the second, third place, and they go into a sweepstakes show, and they go and they show every species that we have down there. And then whoever does that, you got your first, second, third places for that. So, but back in the day, the state used to pay for premium money, which you could make $50-$60. Well, for a kid back then, that's pretty good money. When you're doing real well with them, I think minimum was 10.
That's good money for me today.
Yeah, I show you all the time, and I can't get paid.
You show him your hog, and I feel like he does pay you for that.
Well, that didn't go as planned. That didn't go as planned.
Okay. What's give me the top? I don't know. Top 5, top 10 animals.
Well,
The hogs, I'm guessing.
Well, you got hogs.
Who doesn't
top
love
10
bacon?
animals for what?
For the fair.
For
to show.
showing or
You got dairy,
I mean,
beef,
yeah,
swine, goats are getting real big. So lambs are too. Then you got
I feel like sheep.
he brought his gloves with him.
or
We don't have any here.
and sheep, whatever, with the wool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you show it for the sheep itself, or do you show it for how much wool that sheep has produced?
No, it's showed. That's after they clip them and everything.
And see, that's some of the stuff I wanted to talk about. Is you have I guess I don't want to get off what we're talking about, but like the milk sales.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about doing that? Nobody goes down there knows about how you go about purchasing the milk from back there. There's no pamphlet, anything that says, here, go here to purchase
usually
milk.
it's-
Yeah, it's in the.
Usually it's in the pamphlet.
It's in the pamphlet.
But where do you get those?
Oh, they have boxfuls of them down there.
Down where?
That one?
Fairgrounds, huh?
Where?
This one here.
Normally
Those are everywhere.
Are they at the front gate?
They will be everywhere pretty soon.
Yeah, these are always they got them
But
at the bank.
that only
Yeah,
Gas
that doesn't
station.
show where to do the 4-H stuff, where to register for 4-H.
well,
The 4-H teams. Does it say where to buy the milk? Does it say where
Most
you
of
can
the
attend
registration, the people that register them already know. But the buying the milk is a good question because they
But
have
again-
a milking parlor right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
they usually have a shopper's guide. They always have something in, and I do
The
believe
shopper's guide to me, and I'm sorry, that's fire starter.
Well, I know, but I mean they do
And-
post it. I thought it was in one of
Marketing these days for something like that has got to be next to impossible. Right?
And
It's
Well, it's gluten free.
because I would love to purchase the milk down there. I would love to talk to the farmers about purchasing milk regularly. Or
How much milk do you
because
think
what-
you need? Because whatever
My
you're
daughter
buying, you're going
drinks-
to add $10.
my daughter drinks a gallon every 2 days.
Judas Priest.
I go through 8 gallons a week. Or
We get
not 8
another
gallons a
pamphlet,
week.
too,
I go
that
through
has all that
4
stuff in it.
to 5 gallons a week.
Is it milk high in sugar?
Holy cow.
High in carbs. But still, even the auctioning when the
Sorry,
4-H
my
kids
lighting
are auctioning
situation here
their
sucks.
Give them the
their
ball.
meat pigs, their
Try that.
beef cattle, all that stuff. Where do you go to bid on that?
It's Thursday night.
Okay. Does Joe Blow walking in off the street that Thursday know that?
I don't know. They advertise for it.
And I'm just saying,
it's on
not
the internet.
It's like I said, it's got to be hard to market that.
It
Because, I mean, you
with
could
it
say
being a
it.
4-H
it's-
fair though, is it more a ride fair or a 4-H fair?
it's
it's a little bit of everything.
I feel bad for the
See, I-
people. 'Cause I ran into a guy last year. He's asking me where the animals were on like the second to last day, and I told him where they are.
Yep.
But then he walked away, and I turned around to tell him, "Dude, I'm sure all them animals are probably long gone by now."
Normally they leave they'll leave Saturday night. The swine leaves Saturday night, the last day of the fair. A lot of the horses are gone by then. They got a small fraction of horses there anymore. They don't have a real big.
Oh yeah, back in the day, I remember there was
Remember all the cows? There's
80
Yeah.
to
Shitload
100
of cows.
draft horses, and they had
Yeah.
draft horse pulls.
yeah.
Yep.
They still.
That stuff
Nope.
was awesome.
Nope.
I've never been involved in the backside of the fairgrounds with the.
Which is
all
funny
that.
because you grew up farming.
Well, I was in 4-H. I had a horse. I had a horse back then, but that was a long time ago. I ain't been involved in the back of that fairgrounds. And
Yeah, but you're court ordered not to have animals anymore.
I'm glad somebody else said it before I did.
That's funny. We had a whole conversation on bestiality last weekend.
You keep bringing
that
it up.
popped right up, didn't it?
I couldn't let.
Yeah, I know.
You know, some of the
I don't
buildings
get
out
mad, I
back
get even.
also, some of the Quonset huts I see that are only half used every year.
Yeah, we got
Some of them are used more for storage than anything else.
Maintenance isn't one of them.
Maintenance is in one of them. Needlework, which would be the green Quonset hut.
That's got to be.
That's pretty much kind of fizzled away.
Is it?
They don't. I mean, it's just all these older ladies. You know, Buzz's age, they don't want to do it anymore. I mean, it's
And you
just
know,
saying. They're tired. You know, a lot of them are. They just don't have.
And
that
for somebody to go in there and look at them, sorry, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I that's another one of those things like fishing. I would rather go hang out at the Secretary of State.
see, we've talked about
That shit is boring.
You don't
we've
like
talked about survival stuff on this podcast before.
Yeah, that's
And-
going to be one of those we hit on probably again someday.
I enjoy going in there because I've done a lot of canning, a lot of food prep or whatever. I go into what I would consider the home economics side,
Yes.
and I look through because they grade on canning skills on.
Really?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes. You can enter.
I just look in the
You
door
can
and
enter
go,
canned
not for
goods,
me.
But you can see what they've canned. You can see how they've canned it. They'll talk to you about how they've made it.
Different preservatives and stuff.
Shoulder height, how they've cold packed or whatever in their canning jars, how they've canned it. Let's say meat, you're required at 15 pounds for 90 minutes. Okay, but did they fill it to this part, because they have to have a certain, they're graded on shoulder height, everything on the jar
Really?
fullness. They actually have one of the original canners back there, pressure canners. It's actually pretty cool. But there's
I guess I better
there's
watch
a
them
lot
lap
of
in
stuff
there.
in there. Food
They got
food
tons,
preservation, everything.
They got a ton of stuff. They have a big pie sale.
You or me?
Ty,
Yes. Oh, actually,
you look in, see it's not lunch meat, and say, nope, not for me.
actually, you brought up pies. The Gregory's part, they back in the day, there wasn't pies there because it was illegal.
What?
Yes, it was illegal. They actually, the Gregory's got in with there was a bill passed about homemade pies being there and being served and everything else out of the home economics. They passed a bill. They wrote a bill and everything that went through to the Capitol, everything. And the day that it got signed, it actually got signed unanimously at the Capitol. And it was Marion Gregory. It was her pies that were served during the signing of the bill that day at the Capitol.
Sounds like bribery.
I don't know.
Why was it illegal?
Because of I don't know, with food preparation, all the stuff
guess.
homemade being made in homes and then served out of homes or whatever. It was something to do with that. I was trying to do some reading on it, and he just happened to brought up pies, and I'm like, I'll add that in there. But that all had to do with the Ionia Fair.
If I can go back to where we were talking about a little while ago about these brochures, it is in this brochure. There's one section in here, daily shows, special events, and midway attractions. And right here is a cake and pie auction. There's a large animal auction with the day on it, and the times.
But is there
Gallon of milk sale.
How many of those
July
did you
18,
bring
6
with
p.m.
does it say
One.
where you go at the fairgrounds to do that? Does it give you any information besides
Well,
it's
you
that
can-
day?
Well, I think most people can figure that out when they get there.
But again, do I go
No.
back to the back tan building that's the fair
That's-
office and
back-
register
back-
for it?
Go to the grandstand?
Normally,
No.
you register right where they're going to have
Right.
like meat animal sales in the
What about, but he wants
I
to go
don't
and
even know
buy,
where
and I
that
want to go
is.
and buy.
Where do they have the meat animal sales?
underneath the
In that
covered
big-
arena.
Where they used to do the draft horse pulls?
Yes.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's
But at least this gives you. I mean, if we could put a brochure out that would it'd be like a book, you know. if
and
you wanted,
you're
if
right.
you wanted all that
Now
information.
you brought up the shopper's guide. Is that sent out in the shopper's guide?
Yeah.
That
We,
is.
we take a full page. They do a full page every year with the shoppers.
It's got to be condensed, though. You couldn't put this whole thing in the shopper's guide. But,
We do a full.
Why
full
don't you
front
send
page.
Yeah, right.
that brochure out to everybody in Ionia County or surrounding counties?
Do what with it?
Send that brochure out to
that's-
surrounding counties.
It does go out to some of the merchants around town. We put it around
It goes
like party
everywhere.
stores and things like that. You mail them out, it's going to cost a ton of money to mail out there to everybody. There's
Mike, I think Mike went to like all the way down to Allegan. Like he did a
Yeah.
great big, like an 80 or 100-mile circle of Ionia.
and don't we send a kid or somebody go?
Usually,
around
yep.
town? Yeah.
He did a bunch last
Yeah.
year. Horny Bill used to do it quite often for us.
That's the little guy.
Yeah. Half the
And
feet.
and maybe I'm naive, but I don't think I've seen one of those brochures in a couple of years.
Really?
And
Yeah.
and I live in Ionia.
Yeah. Yeah, they put them everywhere. Banks, all the banks.
You live
We
out of
know.
Ionia.
We noticed.
Well,
I noticed doing similar things with flyers. You take them to a place and they go, "Yeah, we'll take care of it," and then you go back a day later and they're in the trash.
A lot of times too that we're finding, I know the last couple of years, when you go to a store, a party store, they don't want a great big flyer anymore. They want little card stock
They don't want. Yeah.
because it takes up too much space. We put them on the flyers. They go in all of the.
If we
A lot of the
fold 'em-
roads-
if we could
roadside
fold 'em
park.
like that and have something up here.
Well, they got a
Tell us
little
what it
booklet.
is.
I hope Linda gets it made, but they got a little booklet, kind of just a small one that you can kind of go through, but you'll need thick glasses like Buzz's to read it.
Why are you always picking on me? Why is it always me?
Because you're on my left side. And he's a big son of a bitch over here.
Yeah, I think you could take it.
again, I'm just trying to touch on some of the advertisement because I know that's a big thing. If people don't know about stuff, they're not going to enjoy it. They're not going to attend stuff. I don't ever know about the meat
Advertisements
sales. I don't know about
Expensive.
We've got
the
some
milk sales, any of that.
like I'm in pretty much in the concert business, and we have so many acts, and trying to get all that information out to these people is tough. It really is.
No, because everybody has the same thing where they get their information.
Yeah.
Bookface.
Look
I don't have Facebook.
Again, with marketing ads, I'll look at a video on Facebook. Sure. I'll look at a video on Facebook. Okay, why not put a pop-up ad for the fair with that flyer or whatever?
There's got to be a.
I ignore absolutely all ads.
Yeah, I'm with him.
And
The pop-ups.
see, I do and I don't.
Piss me off.
Well, see those pop-ups. So the company we went with that does our Facebook for us now this year, or last year and this year, they've put them in where what do you call them? Algorithms.
Algorithms,
Algorithms. And you'll be going through like Facebook. I'll be looking at
something Ionia based.
Ionia based.
That
Well,
should
even
pop up.
outside
Anything Ionia, that should pop up.
Marketplace. I was looking at tractors one day. Just
That's
tractors.
an Ionia thing.
And the Ionia Free Fair ad popped up in the bottom corner of it. I'm like,
It
what
gave
the
you a
hell?
little jiggle, didn't it?
Yeah, I
were
was
they
like,
John Deere's?
No.
Okay,
It was-
I was gonna say because you were looking at John Deere's, you weren't looking at tractors.
No.
You were looking at paint color.
In cars, and you go through emails, you'll get an email. Sometimes a ad will pop up on an email, a marketing email from another whatever.
Okay, so you got somebody.
Yeah, they're starting to.
Somebody's doing the
And that-
social media
Yes.
pimping.
That's
Yes.
great.
Yep.
That is great because so much influence is gone off of
Yep.
social medias. If it pops up somewhere, I'm probably more happy to see it than the shopper's guide. Like I said, the shopper's guide, that's fire starter to me.
So it goes along the lines of Amazon killed the mom and pops. Video killed the radio star. Facebook killed the newspaper.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Internet killed the
digital
newspaper.
media
So-
killed the newspaper.
As far as the marketing out there, we don't get our local rag anymore. We don't get any ads, and that kind of sucks. I like going through a paper ad or the paper pamphlet.
Daily news. Is
So
about the
me
only
trying to
place.
find what I
That's
want to
Greenville,
know.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I was gonna say they shut down the Sentinel Standard because that was through Greenville. Isn't it?
Well, they haven't shut it down. They shut the print down. They still.
They're out of
They're
Holland.
still.
Oh,
And
Is
it's
it
all
printed
video.
out in Holland?
Yeah, but it's all video, or you got to get it all online.
all
now.
digital.
You
Right,
go to
yeah.
Ken's next door here. They got a daily news box right there.
That's
They
where
do
you
it
get
for
it.
Daily News.
Yep.
They do.
Yep.
So the Grand Rapids Press shut down, and it still exists, but it's printed in Toledo.
Isn't it
Let
crazy?
me ask you something. I'm thinking Daily News probably used to be 25 cents, like the Sentinel. What's it now?
I couldn't tell you. I don't get it.
Probably $2.
I don't think it
Probably.
is.
Probably
I just
ten.
I'm trying to give you an idea how much the cost since COVID hit. The cost of just escalated
COVID.
to a point. Well,
It-
Sentinel Standard was done before COVID.
Yeah,
We're not gonna-
I
we're
don't
not
think
gonna-
I've seen a Sentinel Standard since 2015ish.
It's been quite a while.
yeah.
So 9 years.
They ran that office down there for quite some time,
yeah.
but it went kind of.
You text Lindsay.
I know. I know one of the old writers for it, which is somebody else's counterpart across their desk at another business or another place of employment, and I remember seeing quite a few controversial ads in there, items,
Stories.
in there, but yeah. Anyway, back to the fair.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is advertisement. I don't know when a lot of the 4-H stuff is going on.
Yeah,
That- if some of that's more put out there, that's great. I would totally attend.
their website. We got a
I
website.
just gonna
Well,
say,
we got it
Ionia
on the
Free
website.
Fair.
If we ever do a
website.
second fair special on the podcast, let's make it our goal to figure out how to get those in more hands instead of in the trash.
And again, I know that I said that there's a lot of stuff I could complain about the fair. There's a lot of stuff that I enjoy. I used to go down there. I mean, it used to be the 10 best days of summer. I would go down there 10 days. And I would enjoy it. I would enjoy the hell out of it. We'd stay at my grandma's camper. She was part of 4-H or whatever. I mean, we would go back there and eat lunch because we couldn't afford the fair food. So we would go back to the
expensive.
Try it now.
camper and eat the lunch.
It's expensive.
Right now,
Again,
Big
do that.
expensive then.
and I know that it's
I can't afford the time away from doing something else because once I eat fair food, dude, I'm pretty locked down to the bathroom, dude.
But, I said,
Which
I said
is
earlier,
which him having a motorhome there. It is perfect.
I know. I like doing his upper deckers.
No wonder the thing was so warm last time.
Well, maybe you eat more food. You need to be cleaned out a little more often.
Dude. We were talking about 4-H. What else are we hitting on? Marketing sucks. We need to figure something out.
The parking sucks. We already talked about that.
Okay. I'm gonna before I go
No,
on.
I'm just trying to bring up things that I've.
I don't want to skip because I'll forget to go back to this stuff. So I'm gonna try to go in somewhat of an. If we've hit on it, I'm just gonna skip it. But
I know sometimes.
so animal barns and stuff. The Miracle of Life. Are they still doing that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's getting bigger.
Dave does that.
Dave and Katie.
Katie.
Katie
does.
started
Okay.
it.
Okay. She's great.
Katie Holcomb.
Yeah. And Dave's.
Her
Dave
husband.
used to be
yeah.
the announcer. Did the announcing for everything. They've run a lot of charities also.
Yep.
Yeah, he does. Man, they do a lot of charity
I've
work,
seen-
which is
I've went to quite a few over Lake Odessa area.
shout out to them.
Um,
Well, I want to give a shout out to Lionel and Doug, but I want to wait till if Mike's coming.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not here.
Maybe he didn't know. Did he go to Buzzy's house?
is there a full-time groundskeeper down there? Full-time employed?
Well, not full time, but close. I mean,
Yeah, we
I was
got.
in
got.
the
I've got
wintertime, he called him in. Like, if it snows, he comes down and plows. And,
Okay. What's one of the things the fair is known for as picturesque? What does everybody think of when they pass by the fair?
doing donuts in the snow. Who hasn't? I mean, really? Everybody in this room has got a no.
I've
Really?
never done a donut in the snow down there. I've done it.
I've
in
done a
mud.
don- I've done a
it in the
donut-
mud.
I've done it in the elementary school down the road.
I've done a donut at the fairgrounds, and every car Buzz's ever owned
Well, hold on.
in the mud and the grass. And,
Wait, there might be one you haven't done yet.
well, no, I was gonna, but this got stolen that night.
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. The 4 fabricated towers at the entrance. Where's the 4th one?
It
Yeah,
blew over.
it blew over.
Why
yeah.
hasn't it fixed and back up? That's what I.
It's
MDOT,
trashed. It's tra-
MDOT. It's in the 55-foot
right away.
right away. We didn't even bother asking to put it back up because we know
It
what's
was
going to
pretty
happen.
dilapidated.
It's dilapidated. We'd have to rebuild the bottom of it. The other 3 probably will not blow down. They're full of concrete. That was the only one that did not have
really?
concrete in the base. A week
I
prior,
knew
to
they had concrete, but I didn't know that one didn't. I
that
guess.
was the only one.
So they won't allow you to put it back up then.
No, it's in the right away.
But they don't make you tear the other ones down because they're
No,
grandfathered in.
Grandfathered
yeah,
in still.
yeah.
But if
once they
somebody
come
hit
down-
one,
Yeah, I mean it's when that fell over, it blew over. It was in the
It
middle
was
of
in the road.
Yeah,
It
it
was
blew
in
in the
66,
first lane. It's
And
good
okay,
thing nobody hit it.
I've heard quite a few people say, but nobody knows why
No,
it hasn't
no,
been
so-
refabricated and put back up. And
I don't think it need. I guess it never was a thing for me. I'm like,
I always
man,
like seeing them. I think they're cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
the big
that's-
sign.
but they're
Even
still
that-
there. They're just missing one.
Yeah,
I mean, so
the big signs even still, we're within 5 feet in the right of way, and that's way down at the bottom of the hill.
5 foot.
Yeah, we're still in it.
Ooh.
They let it passed, but
the last time I was under the grandstand, I'm surprised that thing's still standing.
I know that.
Holy shit!
Well, a lot of that when they
Make me
said
nervous
the
walking on it
mold
now.
and mildew and all that stuff. When I got in there the first year, when everybody was let go or laid off, I ripped one of the offices apart. I was like, it's the paneling that was musty, moldy. The wood underneath it was perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with it. So
It's got 10 layers around it to
yeah.
protect
So
it
the
from.
first year, and when I took or was in charge, we gutted them. The first aid room and the ticket booth, stripped them, cleaned it. We all new steel, new windows. We got the windows fixed. We got new air conditioners. We got the bathroom. The bathroom hadn't worked in I can't even tell you how many years. And there's a bathroom in there for them to use.
But now are those offices and everything being used now?
Not all of them yet. There's a couple of them on the west end. I don't know what we're gonna do with those yet.
You know, I know. I never brought this up, but I don't see what might be not a bad idea to buy one, or not. I mean, to rent one of those office trailers, like from up to a building. They got the office trailers.
For what?
Put the office in, put it down on the grounds instead of way back in the back of the.
Well, the problem we have when we put it on the grounds is when Arnold's is setting up their, the rides and stuff, you got traffic. People, they even put gates up this last year to keep people out, and they drive right around them, and they're in the middle of everything. So that's why we're trying to keep the office part, the main part of it, where people are going to buy their tickets. We're still going to sell tickets under the grandstand out of the ticket booth, but it's going to be during the fair. It ain't going to be the week or the weekend that they're setting up rides, because we had such a problem with them the last few years. That's the reason.
Well, I get a
Bev
lot of
moved
people
it.
that come down there. Where do I go get tickets at?
Well, it's
I mean,
kind
it's
of
not right there in the front by the highway where people.
well. We put the other
or-
little
or
ticket
any
booth
direction.
out front too.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah,
once-
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we usually do that anyway, a week before the fair.
What about putting up instead of how many parking Kwanzaa huts you got out there? The little hut, the little security shacks.
For
Drive through to park.
we're getting, let's see, there's
You're getting new ones.
we're
4
getting
or
brand
5.
new ones.
4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3. I think there's 4 up front, 1 in the back, 5, 6 is on the other side. So I think there's a total of 6.
But in the front, why don't you take one of them and make it a super shack and sell tickets there,
Kind of is.
as well as make it all parking. But if somebody wanted to buy tickets while they're already in the car driving through, they could buy tickets there. They do already.
In the very front by the
Yeah.
big sign, they put a booth up there all the way up till the day of fair. Then we move it back to the front of
But I'm
the,
saying
No,
if
he's
people
talking
are
about when people are coming.
a
in.
pass through.
for convenience,
Yeah.
make one of them a super shack or 2 of them a super shack. That when they're coming through, if they're going to go to monster trucks or mud runs or
Whatever
derby,
else.
Right.
say,
Concerts,
would you like to buy your
tractor
tickets now? And you won't have to stand in line under the grandstand.
Right.
Also, hand out brochures at them.
They do.
Okay.
I've seen people lined up all the way down
I know.
to the Merchants Building trying to get or being in line to get a ticket. Well, that was like Lee Bray.
I mean, it's going to be, you're going to get traffic, especially on a big night of whatever.
Yeah.
Lee Bryce, I've never,
Yeah.
he sounds country.
You could have a
Yes.
sign out there saying get your parking and grandstand tickets here,
That's what my wedding song was Lee Price.
maybe.
Is there a way to get
Never heard of
Wi-Fi down at the fairgrounds?
Got it.
Because
We
I've
got
been there years before where they've told people to stop using their cell phones so vendors could run transactions.
It's got, it
buy
was,
tickets.
we got they set that up now. They put amplifiers. We got amplifiers all over the fairgrounds now.
Okay, good.
So knock on wood, it's worked for the last couple of years. All the transactions, because that's what you do everything on now, or even the vendors.
But well, before I had my own internet at home because I live in a bad spot. Every time the fair happened, I'd have horrible cell reception
Oh, yeah.
outside of town.
I get horrible cell reception from Sprague Road to Renucci's.
Well, you get it because you're right across from the chicken farm.
I get great reception, or great cell service over there.
So we're going to, where are we at?
58.
You want to take a break?
We can.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll keep on this stuff, but we're gonna take some notes and give it to you guys to take with you. But we're gonna take a break real quick. Get a hold of Mike, see if he disappeared or what's going on. Maybe he ain't gonna make it, which is no big deal. What else we want to do before we sign off on this one? We'll come back. We're gonna try to do 3 episodes.
Yeah, we'll come right back. Here's those that wish us well.
All the rest can go to hell.